Et tu, Brute. College football on ESPN is brought to you by Edward Jones. It's the only college football game being played in the Carolinas this weekend. Number 2 Clemson coming off that big win against Texas A&M. Georgia Southern 2-0 out of the Sun Belt. They've already matched their win total from last season. Hurricane Florence looms large. We're not really going to feel the effects during this game. Temperatures in the low 80s. There is some wind, but the rain won't come until later in the day. Hurricane Florence, now downgraded to a tropical storm, has already forced a number of cancellations, and the game you're watching was originally scheduled for 3:30, being moved up to noon. Anish Shroff alongside former Longhorn Ahmad Brooks. Our thoughts are with those that have felt the impact of Hurricane Florence or are in harm's way, and sometimes sports can be that distraction, it can be that diversion if your thoughts are elsewhere, and hopefully we can offer that to you, if not for a few moments, then a few minutes, maybe a few hours, because there is a football game to be played, and we've got the number 2 team in the country. They've done it with 2 quarterbacks, and that's the plan going forward right now.
Yeah, and Kelly Bryant had some big shoes to fill with the departure of Deshaun Watson, but his consistent play has helped keep Clemson at the top of the college football hierarchy. Dabo Swinney said that this young man is playing the best football of his career at the moment. Part of that motivation comes from being pushed by the sensational freshman Trevor Lawrence, who Dabo Swinney also said has all the intangibles of a Deshaun Watson, yet he's bigger, stronger, and faster. I can't wait to see this young man get on the gridiron today.
Alex Cordry down in the field. When do we see Trevor Lawrence?
Anish, you're going to see him early in this one, around the 3rd or 4th series, according to co-offensive coordinator Jeff Scott. And as for Lawrence, he has to stay mentally sharp and ready, because he knows in order to earn more reps, he's got to be reliable, consistent, and calm when called upon. They said that comes natural for the young quarterback. We laughed with Dabo Swinney. He says, you look at him, you think he'd be Mr. Hollywood, easily distracted with those long locks, but he is as sharp as ever.
Tyler Bass kicking with the wind, sends it out of the end zone for a touchback, and Clemson's offense will take the field first. 2-quarterback system, yes, but Kelly Bryant is the starter, and last week in the road win in College Station, he had his best passing game of his Clemson career.
I thought he was so poised at the close of that game, and that's where the leadership is really starting to take off for the senior out of Calhoun Falls, South Carolina.
Travis Etienne straight up the middle for a gain of 6 on first down. Etienne with a touchdown in both games this season.
Pick up 7 yards on the play. Run down to number 47, Randy Wade Jr.
Bryant throws, the reliable Hunter Renfro, who extends his consecutive game with a reception streak to 31. Bryant to T. Higgins near midfield. The sophomore coming off a monster game against A&M. 3 catches, 123 yards. Dabo Swinney at the helm of the number 2 team in the country as Etienne spins away from a defender. And a strong finish to that run. It's another first down for Clemson. And what Coach Swinney wanted to see was an offense that can be more efficient. They've relied on a lot of big plays through the first couple of games.
Well, they're in great rhythm right now, and Kelly Bryant is really operating this offense at a very efficient rate right now.
Play action. Bryant buys time. Going long, looking for Rogers. Incomplete, broken up. Monquavion Brinson, the corner, stayed right with Amari Rogers. Brinson had 5 picks a season ago.
Yeah, that ball was underthrown. Rogers had gotten behind coverage. You see it here at the bottom of your screen. Bryant recognized it late and couldn't get enough mustard on that throw to get it over the top.
Designed run. Bryant ran into his own guy and is tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Raymond Johnson, the All-Sun Belt Conference D-end. Georgia Southern a little short-handed defensively today. Starting safety Joshua Moon and starting nose tackle Ian Bush, both inactive, suspended because of a violation of team rules. On third down, Bryant has an open receiver. It's caught. It's the tight end, Galloway. Braden Galloway with a first down at the 22-yard line, a pickup of 20.
That was just great timing on the part of Kelly Bryant. And great anticipation here from the tight end. He sees they're soft in coverage. He finds a soft spot, and the ball was put on the money for a first down conversion.
Bryant back to the air. And that is intercepted. First turnover of the season by Clemson. Kendall Vildor stepped in to take that tunnel screen away.
Oh my goodness. What a jump on this play. He just recognized this immediately with an outstanding job as the wide receiver was getting ready to run the screen. Kendall Vildor with a big-time play right here in Death Valley.
From Death Valley, it's the ACC on ESPN. Georgia Southern with the football after the interception by Kendall Vildor, ending a Clemson drive. South Carolina quarterback Shai Wertz, a local kid, grew up about 90 miles from here, runs for 6. This is how the Eagles got the ball. Was this on the quarterback or the receiver?
Yeah, the uber-talented Justin Ross has to do a better job of selling that screen. You've got to make the defensive back think that you're getting into your route. He did not. Now, great anticipation there from Kendall Vildor, but the young freshman being schooled by a more veteran player on the opposite side of the ball.
Movement up front as Georgia Southern lined up with C.J. Wright, the nose tackle in the backfield.
Offsides, defense, number 42, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Offsides on Christian Wilkins, the All-American D-tackle, part of the best front four in all of college football. And this is a defensive line, not for an age, but for all time.
Indeed.
C.J. Wright, 94, stays into the backfield. Off the right hip of Shai Wertz. And there is big C.J. Wright rumbling close to the 40-yard line for a gain of 4.
C.J. Wright.
Well, that's one way to try to combat this large and athletic defensive line. Look at the big boy there. You'd like to see him get 2 hands on that football when he's coming through traffic. But that's good yardage on first down, and you see his teammates over there, I'm sure, hyping him up for sure.
All right, how do we break through this Himalayan-sized front? We'll bring one of our big mountains. Wesley Fields now into the game at running back. Fields gets the call. And able to maneuver his way to the 41. It sets up a third down.
Wesley Fields. Pickup of 2 yards on the play. Stop by number 2.
And the Eagles are still on schedule right now. This is the perfect distance for them. Maybe a yard or two short of their mark, but they can get into all of their zone read option, run-pass options that this team likes to get into. And if I'm the Eagles, I want to put the ball in the hands of my quarterback, Shai Werts.
Fields ran into a roadblock, 4th down.
And off to 21, Wesley Fields. Gain of 1 yard on the play.
Now this defensive line, they build a wall. And Dexter Lawrence, one of the top defensive tackles in all of the land, has one of the best sets of eyes. What I mean by that is he can decipher through traffic, his ability to be able to know where the football's going, and then his athleticism to be able to track the ball down. He and Wilkins, the best duo in college football, right up the middle.
McGill Bowerly to punt. Amari Rogers back deep. Bowerly just got it off. Rogers makes the fair catch at the 15-yard line. So the Clemson turnover doesn't lead to points for the Eagles. Still scoreless in the first.
Football is presented by Edward Jones because understanding what's important to you matters. And in part by Mountain Dew. Do the do.
Clemson making its famed Tiger Walk before the game as they make their grand entrance into Memorial Stadium. Tigers 2-0, as is Georgia Southern, led by Chad Lunsford, who took over when Tyson Summers was fired after 6 games last season. And Lunsford has been an assistant at Georgia Southern for 5 different head coaches. They wanted to get back to the identity of the program, and that is option football.
And it's worked for them. And I think it fits their personnel. And this Georgia Southern team, when it's all said and done, should be able to make some noise in their conference.
Kelly Bryant keeps it on the zone read. And Bryant B-buttons his way to the 31-yard line, a gain of 17. And a first down for Clemson. And if you're wondering why Bryant is the starter and not Trevor Lawrence, that's the one area where Bryant is considerably better.
Well, this is just a great decision. Great play fake right there at the mesh point. And then the run was sensational.
Tavian Feaster for a short gain brings up a 2nd and 9. Logan Hunt on the stop. Feaster came into this game with just 5 carries in his first 2 games. Ran for almost 700 yards a season ago. Feaster out of the backfield. Got a block on the perimeter. And Feaster across the 40, close to a first down. It's 3rd and short. And Ahmad, these 3rd downs are an area where Clemson can improve. Under 40% through 2 games. As there's an injured Eagle, it's Todd Bradley, the middle linebacker.
First down, Tigers at the 42.
They say the gain was enough for a first down. Bradley down for the Eagles. We will step aside. Todd Bradley being carted off the field, and Georgia Southern's depth at middle linebacker about to be tested. Rashad Byrd, who normally plays quite a bit, suspended for the first half for a targeting penalty last week. So now they're down to 3rd stringer Chris Harris. Here's the play where Bradley, 11
Yikes.
White, gets hurt.
Yeah, friendly fire. Yeah, the safety comes in. Sean Freeman trying to get involved in the action and hits his teammate. Let's just hope that young man is okay, as that neck came back and looks as though he perhaps has a bloody nose as well. Tough young man. We hope to see him at some point in this game and hopefully next week.
A young man who's coming off a knee injury.
First down, Tigers at the 42.
So 32, Chris Harris steps in, 3rd string middle linebacker. They give this to Feaster. Plows his way to the 49, close to midfield. A gain of 8, and right now Clemson doing what it wants in the run game.
Well, and part of that starts with the young men up front, Hyatt, Simpson, Falsinelli, and Stewart. If they can continue to get that type of push, it's going to be a long day for the Eagles.
Back to Feaster. First down into Georgia Southern territory.
And off to Tavian Feaster. He picks up the first down. Raymond Johnson with the tackle.
Travis Etienne now back into the game at running back. He gets the call. Etienne has the edge into the secondary and finally driven out of bounds by Brinson after a gain of 18. So this Eagles defense, which hadn't given up a lot of big plays in the first two games, already being gouged for some big chunks in the first quarter. Etienne again, searching for running room. And he's inside the 25, a gain of 5. And right now, Clemson doing what it wants in the run game.
And the 23.
Tigers averaging 7.5 yards per carry. Screen pass, Samari Rogers got a block from Renfro, and that block able to spring Rogers for a first down.
Yeah, and Rogers brings a different element to this team. And talking to co-offensive coordinator Jeff Scott, who also is the wide receivers coach, he's a smaller guy in terms of stature, but he's very strong in the lower half of his body, and he can break through wimpy tackles.
Speed option, Bryant keeps. Flag down after a short gain.
Personal foul. Chalk block. Offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
You'll see it here in the middle of your screen. John Simpson there called on the play. 15 yards, that really sets them back and gets them behind the chains.
Bryant to the air. And Travion Thompson unable to hang on. Broken up by Vildor, who already has an interception.
Now that boy was in the film room today. This is the second time today that he's just gotten an outstanding jump on the football. And he wasn't even supposed to be covering that guy. He was more in a forced situation, a hard edge on the outside corner.
And that's a big loss right there for Georgia Southern to Marcio Reese. Defensive Player of the Week after week 1 in the Sun Belt. He's their spark plug defensively. He plays with some speed, a senior from Georgia. So this linebacking unit right now real thin. No Bradley. Bird is suspended for the first half. And now Reese is off the field, and they're already down their starting safety and nose tackle who are suspended. Bryant thought about the pass. He'll run up the middle. Has some green space. And he gets close to the original line of scrimmage, which sets up a 3rd and 9.
Now that's a new wrinkle for that design quarterback draw. This time he faked the screen pass outside and just found some creases inside as this offensive line, and along with the tailback picking up their man and clearing some space for the talented Kelly Bryant.
On 3rd down, Bryant to the air, has time, now flushed, and he is sacked. How about Chris Harris, the 3rd string linebacker, coming into the game, and it's now 4th down for Clemson.
Well, in this secondary, doing a good job of covering downfield, and the hardest place to score is when you start to get into this red zone and space starts to tighten up. And give them credit, with only a 4-man rush, they were able to get some pressure. And because the back end held true to their coverage, Harris was able to come in as a third-string linebacker and pick up a very important sack on third down for the Eagles.
A 39-yarder for Greg Hugel, who missed most of last year with a torn ACL. Kick is up. And no good. So Clemson has driven inside the Georgia Southern 30 twice. An interception ended the first drive. The second ends on a missed field goal.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
Anish Ralph, Ahmad Brooks, Alex Cordry down on the field. Scoreless first quarter. Clemson has thrown an interception. They just missed a field goal, and Georgia Southern has it at their own 22. Shy Wertz, we get a flag. Cleveland Farrell sprang off that line.
Number 51, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, Aaron Dowdle flinches here, and this is what you're coached to do. If you're Cleveland Farrell and you see that offensive line jump, you are taught to push him back so that the officials are able to make that call.
Handoff to Fields, and he is bottled up. Dexter Lawrence was there. So was Christian Wilkins. Part of that Power Ranger defensive line for Clemson.
There's too many of them. Let's do it, guys. Guys, more for time. One time.
How about Dexter Lawrence is the pink Power Ranger?
That is a phenomenal. They call themselves the Power Rangers. Brainchild of Wilkins, who's the leader of that group. Monteo Garrett picks up 4. Now that false start penalty on first down gets Georgia Southern behind the chains. It's an offense that's thrown it 16 times coming into the game. They've run it 112 times. They get behind the chains. It takes away what they do best.
They are uncomfortable in these types of situations, and it really does stress the offensive coordinator in these types of situations. And if you're the Clemson defensive backs, what you want to do here is keep everything in front of you. Come up and wrap up, make a play in front of the chains. As Shy Wertz is put in an uncomfortable situation passing on third and long.
The play clock ran out. Here comes another flag.
First charge timeout, Georgia Southern.
Now Georgia Southern able to call a timeout to avoid the delay of game. Shy Wertz, the quarterback for the Eagles, grew up coming to Death Valley. He is from Newberry, South Carolina, about 90 miles east. Recruited by Clemson. They offered him, but not as a quarterback, as an athlete. They looked at him as a potential defensive back. He came to Georgia Southern because he wanted to play QB.
Well, you know, out of West Texas, I was recruited as a midline option quarterback, and I know that predicament. And I'm sure Shy Wertz, his thinking was, hey, I've never played defensive back. So why would I go and compete at a university like this when I know I can play quarterback? I'm comfortable at that position. And Shy Wertz is a phenomenal athlete. When you watch him on film, his speed, his quickness, his agility, they all stand out. And if he gets loose in the open field today, he will be as comparable as anybody on the Clemson side of the ball in terms of his burst, his acceleration, and his ability to break free.
Here comes the pressure, flag down. Farrell may have jumped a little early. That might have been a free play. Cleveland Farrell, the All-American in.
Defense, number 99. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Yeah, he licks his chops in these opportunities. Third and long. Farrell knows this is money-making time. Already with 3 sacks on the year. Just got to jump. And would have had plenty of time had he got gotten off at the correct moment, but now you really put them in a 3rd and 5 situation, and now the Eagles can get back into their zone read option package. This is where they're most comfortable.
Words under pressure, thrown to the ground and canceled by Austin Bryant.
Yeah, this is a mental error on the part of the Eagles offensive line. Nobody lays a hand on Bryant. And you've got 2 guys on that side of the ball, and neither one of them blocked Bryant. Bryant with the easiest sack perhaps of his career, definitely by far this year.
Ari Rodgers back deep.
Bowderly kicks it away. Rodgers fields it at the 40 and gets destroyed. Let's check in with Chris Cotter in the studio.
Shimon, just a few miles to the southwest of you guys, is Athens, Georgia. Jake Fromm already 1 touchdown pass on the day. Make it 2. Here finding Jeremiah Holloman. This game over on ESPN News. Dogs up 14-zip.
That game also moved up to noon because of the hurricane, and we have our first Trevor Lawrence sighting for Clemson. Last week, the true freshman on his first pass attempt against Texas A&M hit T. Higgins for a touchdown.
It was a beautifully well-executed football, and I'm not sure if I've seen anybody with this young man's arm talent at his age.
Lawrence to the air. He's got Kendrick. Darion Kendrick picks up about 5. Trevor Lawrence, the #1 pocket passer coming out of high school, #2 player in the ESPN 300. This kid has been hailed as the next great thing since about 8th grade. Lawrence back to the air. Kendrick has it go off his hands, incomplete. 3rd down.
One thing that I want you to watch while you're at home, the efficiency, his throwing motion. Now, there's a lot of quarterbacks that can get the ball out of their hand quickly, but this young man is accurate when he does it. And one of the best parts of his game is being able to buy time. And at 6'6", he's still very mobile in the pocket and able to really slide around, which allows him to be able to throw at these different arm slots and different throwing motions.
Lawrence again to the air on 3rd down. Goes through his reads, and that is complete to T.J. Chase. And it appears to be enough for a 1st down. It is. When we talked to Dabo Swinney, we were telling him about, you had Deshaun Watson. And Watson has been Swinney's been on the record saying, I'm probably never going to coach another guy as good as Deshaun Watson. And Trevor Lawrence comes around.
He's a special talent.
This is Adam Choice for a nice pickup, a gain of 4. You think about what's made Clemson successful. Look at the quarterbacks that have come through. It started with Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, an all-timer. Kelly Bryant, no slouch, got this team to the college football playoff last year, and Trevor Lawrence is going to be the face of college football the next 2 years. Choice. Ball is out. And Georgia Southern covers it up. 2nd turnover by Clemson. Raymond Johnson recovered the fumble, and the Eagles get it back once more.
Yeah, give the Eagles credit for the takeaway here, but the Tigers have been sloppy with the football. And, though that was an explosive hit from the outside, but that's a normal football play for the running back. And if you're Dabo Swinney and Jeff Scott, you're thinking to yourself, what in the world is going on with our team? And this is not what Dabo Swinney wanted to see out of his program. He wanted to see them play complementary football where the defense and the offense was playing well together. And early on in the 1st quarter, that has not been the case.
It's been sloppy. Full house backfield. Shy Wirtz takes the snap. Options to Garrett. and he gets about a half yard. Austin Bryant slowed him up.
Oh my goodness, Isaiah Simmons just ran right through the blocker, nearly pushed him back to the goal line. Just an explosive play which really shortened that edge and forced the running back to have to turn and cut up tight. And if you're the Eagles offense right now, now is your moment, now is your time. For the second time today, your defense has handed you the ball. Now you've got a short field, and I know it's a daunting task taking on the Tigers. They've got to do something with it.
A comedy of errors in the first quarter for Clemson. A first drive thwarted by an interception, a missed field goal, and now a fumble near midfield. Scoreless after 15 minutes of play in Death Valley. Clemson's on pace for almost 600 yards of total offense. They gave up only 12 in the first quarter. The scoreboard, though, tells a different story.
Yeah, this is not what Dabo was expecting from his team. He wants them to play complementary football where they're clicking on all cylinders at the same time.
2 turnovers and a missed field goal. Shy Werts to the air, off his back foot, and he overthrew Cam Brown, his intended target, who's from right up the road in Greenville, South Carolina. First pass attempt for the Eagles.
Yeah, I like the shot here. And you know, the tight end actually had him over the top, and Shy Werts did a good job of trying to lead him into the throw, but just a tad bit out of the reach. But I like taking a shot there on second down. The issue is now you're back to a 3rd and long situation where we've talked enough ad nauseum about this team not being prepared for these types of moments. And you would expect Shy Werts, if I'm the Eagles offensive coordinator, I'm going to get him on the move where he has a 2-way go, where he can run the football if it's covered downfield.
Tigers bring 5. Werts under pressure. He'll tuck it and run. Reaching for the first down, but he stepped out of bounds at the 45, about 3 yards shy. It'll bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, and you can see the busy feet here. Shy Werts realizes that he's taking on one of the top defensive lines in the country and just snuck out of the backside of that pocket where it was able to open up, but not enough for the first down as this Tiger defense doing their job once again. Now what would this offense do? Can they punch one in?
3rd punt for McGill Bowerly. Fair catch called for by Amari Rogers, lets it bounce. It takes an Eagles bounce as it dies at the 7-yard line. Tonight on ABC, Big 10 meets Big 12 in a top 20 matchup. 4th-ranked Ohio State, number 15 TCU. They're at Jerry's World in Arlington, Texas. Dwayne Haskins with a chance to maybe put himself in the front-runner seat for that Geno Smith September Heisman.
Yeah, that's going to be a slobber knocker, and that TCU defense is as talented as Gary Patterson has had. And, you know, he's a defensive guru. He's going to be able to apply pressure on the quarterback. I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Trevor Lawrence back out for his 2nd series. Lawrence to the air. Underneath. And that is hauled in by the tight end from Savannah, Mylan Richards.
Great timing, those run-pass options. This is where this young man's game has to grow a tad bit, but he made the perfect decision there. And the run-pass option is the quarterback has 3 different plays. He can run the ball, pass the ball, or he can carry it himself. Lawrence making the right decision there.
High snap. ETN. Changing direction. And somehow makes his way out of the ambush and picks up a first down.
Oh my goodness. A few injured players down on the field.
That is Lane Ecton, junior from South Carolina. And the bodies have been falling on the defensive side for the Eagles.
And Kate Stewart also injured on this play, starting offensive lineman. But watch this here, the wiggle, the juice. And Dabo Swinney said that this guy can flat out fly. And when he has an opportunity to really open up, yeah, he's like a sports car. That time there, though, navigating himself through traffic with outstanding cuts, really sticking that foot in the ground and getting north and south.
5 broken tackles on that play for ETN, who last year began the season as the fourth-string running back, and there was no doubt when camp broke this year who would be the #1 back, and it's Etienne, as Cade Stewart is down. Stewart got the start last week at right guard, and the trainers attended to him as we step away.
You're watching college football on ESPN. Well, the Georgia Southern defense has been dealing with injuries early in this game. We watched linebacker Todd Bradley get carted off the field, and also linebacker Tamarico Reese has been working with trainers in the tent. It looks like they've been checking out his right knee and right leg. He's been vividly uncomfortable. As soon as we have more updates, we will let you all know. Anish?
All right, thank you, Alex. Lawrence goes back to Richard, the nephew of Herschel Walker, a gain of 17. Trevor Lawrence 4 out of 5 in the early going.
Yeah, and the departure and the injuries to those linebackers, those are typically plays where those linebackers are sitting right on that hash. And Lawrence right now is really picking them apart in the middle of the field because their linebackers are making the wrong decision.
High snap, Lawrence handles it. Gives it to Etienne, who wiggles for a couple. Boy, that's twice now Travis Etienne has made a little something out of nothing.
Yeah, this kid has juice.
Clemson's first 3 drives ended with an interception, a missed field goal, and a fumble. The interception came inside the Georgia Southern 30, the fumble near midfield. Etienne out of the backfield. And he is to the 45-yard line. It sets up a 3rd down. Chris Harris on the stop.
And that was a designed screen route. Nobody else from the wide receivers even ran a route. They immediately started blocking. And they were trying to just chip away at the chains here and to get themselves in a 3rd and short situation. This is a manageable down here. And no doubt about it, you put the ball in the hands of Lawrence and let him do magic.
Lawrence to throw. Near sideline, T. Higgins makes the catch for the first down. That's going to hurt the old average. Higgins came into the game averaging 26 yards a catch.
But it was an excellent conversion route, and what I mean by that, if the defensive backs are sitting high, he's just running a speed cut on the outside, and Lawrence with the great timing and pinpoint accuracy is able to put that ball in for a first down.
Lawrence tosses to Feaster. Feaster breaks the tackle. And then shakes in, bakes his way for a gain of 6.
Yeah, great job of keeping his legs alive. And those are the hardest players to tackle, Anish, when they are so active with the lower half of their body. Because once you hit them, they're either going to run through your tackle, but they're hard to also wrap up.
You played with a guy in Texas named Ricky Williams.
I know a little bit about that.
Lawrence steps up. Hunter Renfrow wide open. Renfrow finally subdued at the 12-yard line. Little Barishnikov by the senior. It's a gain of 30.
Lawrence making outstanding decisions. You heard me refer to it earlier, but once again, just an RPO package. The play fake there. Looks off to safety. Comes back to the middle of the field where Renfrow was waiting in space.
Lawrence will keep it. Gets a block from Overton. And Lawrence using that 6'6" frame to set up a 1st and goal at the 2.
I see the young freshman trying to grow some facial hair today and some chest hair. Trying to run through defensive backs. Lowering that head at 6'6", as you mentioned. Another great decision in the read option package.
Rodgers in motion. They give us to Feaster. No gain.
Yeah, Raymond Johnson is having a fine football game here early in the first half. We've seen him be very active and involved. That time they're not going for the play fake from Lawrence and just attacks the football.
This Eagle defense right now down 4 starters. 2 injured in this half, 2 suspended. Feaster again bulldozes his way, but just shy of the goal line. Looked like he might have gotten that push. Instead, it's 3rd and goal. Well, Amon, you've got a 6'6" quarterback. If he just falls forward, you've got 6.
Yeah, and you'd also like to see them at some point try to attack these corners on the outside edge with the height advantage that they have on the outside. They've opted to run, and I would expect them to put it back on the ground here for a third time.
Etienne reaching, no signal, and he is stopped shy, so fourth down. And if last week was any indication, I'd bet the farm Dabo Swinney goes for it.
Yeah, you go for it again. Got to here. This defense really trying to do something incredible here. Chris Harris Jr. once again making a play. Third string linebacker who's been forced into action because of the injury to Todd Bradley.
Lawrence under center. Etienne in for an easy 6. Clemson on the board first.
Touchdown, Tigers.
Etienne with outstanding vision here and following that fullback, and it was the left shoulder of that fullback, that right side of the play, which allowed him to open up that cut to the outside, which allowed the Tigers to get on the board for the first time today.
Hugel's PAT is good. Travis Etienne, the sophomore from Louisiana, capping a 13-play drive with a short touchdown run.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Align Probiotic. Realign yourself with Align Probiotic. And the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta.
The Zen of Dabo. That man has overseen the high renaissance of Clemson football. This used to be a program known for squandering chances, stubbing its toe in big games.
Not
They've
anymore.
won 7 straight when they've played on game day. This is a big-time football program that plays in big games, and they win big games.
You're absolutely right, and Dabo Swinney is the leader, and they talk so much about the culture around here and this family atmosphere that he's created. And I could talk to Dabo for hours about what he's been able to do. A very humble man and done a fabulous job here with the Tigers.
It's Extra Yard for Teachers Week, a week-long celebration of teachers led by the College Football Playoff Foundation through its Extra Yard for Teachers initiative. Visit the College Football Playoff Foundation website at www.cfp-foundation.org to learn more. Clemson's got a teacher on its defensive line. It's Big 42, Christian Wilkins. He's earning a master's degree in athletic leadership. Moonlighted earlier this year as a substitute kindergarten teacher. This was during spring ball. He was able to schedule teaching jobs in between practice days, taught science, played games with the children.
Super cool.
During gym time. Can you imagine being a 5-year-old and you see that giant of a man as your substitute teacher?
And the facial hair doesn't help. Yeah, that's scary.
He's a gentle giant, though.
Indeed.
And one of the great personalities in college football.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It was Wilkins who has really been a part of that Power Ranger moniker that started with this defensive line a few years ago. The starting 4 on the D-line, 3 of them, Bryant, Lawrence, and Farrell, all live together. And Wilkins is the guy who occasionally lives there but doesn't technically pay rent.
He's the oddball. One thing that's not odd about his game is his ball get off. And Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator for Clemson, said he's got the fastest set of eyes on this team.
What does that mean?
It just means he's able to dissect plays very quickly, and he doesn't guess wrong often.
Wirtz under pressure. Throwing near sideline. And it's an incomplete pass in the direction of Wesley Kennedy, the sophomore from Savannah. Kennedy's been a big play threat. 4 catches on the season, good for 100 yards. That's 25 a catch for the math majors.
And Xavier Thomas, number 3, the defensive end, a very special talent that these Tigers have brought in, and he's a real thumper on that edge, and he is developing into one of the more special freshmen throughout the country. You'll watch him today and be very pleased with his play.
A 5-star recruit. Not much running room that time. So 3rd and long, and if Georgia Southern is to have any chance, you have to avoid 3rd and long where the defense has a pretty good idea of what you're going to do.
Manish, you're right. This is the worst case scenario for this team, and despite Charwart's ability to be an athlete, one of the parts of his game that he's still developing and working on is being able to stand comfortably in the pocket, and it's hard to do that when you've got 4 monsters chasing you down, planting landmines all over the pocket like Clemson has.
Wirtz under pressure, and he is sacked by Xavier Thomas. There's the blue chip freshman.
Yeah, get used to seeing him. He is a special talent. Watch the ball get off here. I mean, they're going 3 deep into their bag right now. And
it's a 5-star blue chipper.
Watch the ball get off here. Just no chance. And frankly, that wasn't even great hands at the point of contact there with the right tackle. But it just goes to show you that Clemson right now, where they're at. And Dabo told us yesterday, this is the most complete team he's coached here at Clemson. Just to give you an idea of how talented this group is.
And all they've done is gone to the college football playoff 3 years in a row.
Oh, my.
There's Rogers from the 37. He's got midfield. A flag is down. Amari Rogers takes it to the 35-yard line. But a flag down back at the 40.
During the return, holding. Receiving team number 18. 10-yard penalty. First down, Clemson. Timeout.
And as TJ Chase was running off the field, Dabo Swinney was giving him an earful. When you negate a play like that, boy, is it a bad play for the Tigers.
Stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today. Just download the ESPN app. 7-0 Clemson, a game a lot closer than many folks thought it would be.
I'd say.
Kelly Bryant back in at quarterback. He'll throw. He's got Thompson. Turns to the outside and driven out across the 40. A first down as we check in with Chris.
Time for DirecTV. More for your college football thing. Nebraska's in trouble right now. This is Sedarius Booker from Troy. They're already down 3-0. He's going to take this one to the end zone, this punt return. So it's 10-0, Troy on top, and they're driving for more right now in Lincoln.
Kelly Bryant taken down at the line of scrimmage by Kendrick Duncan. Troy, one of the teams to beat in the Sun Belt, picked to finish second. App State picked to win the league, and Georgia Southern picked to finish fourth in the East.
Yeah, Kelly Bryant came up gimpy on that play after a fine tackle there from Kendrick Duncan. They were trying to run a quarterback power to the boundary, and Duncan with a very physical tackle. Lawrence is in the ballgame.
Now we'll monitor that. That's the freshman Lynn J. Davis, and it brings up third down. Let's see if we can see what happened to Kelly Bryant.
Yeah, this was a physical tackle as Duncan is replacing Joshua Moon, who was suspended. And he also came down kind of awkwardly on the front part of his chest as he's raising his arms up. Sometimes that ball gets lodged in the wrong position and can knock the wind out of you.
On third down, Lawrence to the air. Blitz picked up by Davis. Downfield, wide open, Justin Ross. Ross, a couple of great juke moves. He is the future at Clemson, and you got a glimpse.
Get used to this connection. Lawrence to Ross, these two here. Great protection in the pocket. And Lawrence showing off that $1 million arm as Ross with the wiggle after the catch. And what's most impressive, he's 6'4", 210 pounds. And when you watch him, he's very slender with his build, but excellent route runner, attacks the football, and this kid has stardom written all over his future.
They are comparing him to the great Clemson wideouts, Sammy Watkins, Nuke Hopkins, Mike Williams, Martavis Bryant. The #1 player out of Alabama, only a true freshman, just scratching the surface. Freshman Justin Ross came to Clemson with the reputation as a human highlight reel. During fall practice, he went viral with this catch that he made, high pointing it, sort of Odell Beckham did, and then a couple of sweet juke moves for a long touchdown catch and run to make it 14-0 Clemson. First world problems. There are no shortage of riches. The challenge is getting everybody into the game.
And you saw it right. That kid's from Alabama. They went and stole him right from underneath Alabama and Auburn's nose.
Speaking of Alabama, Nick Saban and #1 Bama travel to Oxford to take on Ole Miss tonight. Coverage at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Remember, the Rebels beat Bama in 2014 and then again in 2015.
And will we see Clemson and Alabama again? You know, these are definitely the two superpowers of college football. And when you look at the talent, you look at their head coach, it's obvious to see why these two programs have had so much success here recently.
Wesley Fields on first down for a gain of 3. Georgia Southern has run 14 plays for 22 yards in this first half.
Well, this defensive line has been suffocating, and one of the things that defensive coordinator Brent Venables said during the week, if he can get his 2 defensive tackles to eat up not only the center and both guards plus the fullback, it really does open up everything else for this defense and these linebackers to be able to flow freely and make plays, and that's what you're seeing in these. They have been suffocating up front. It starts with this dominant defensive line, and then it moves on to all of the talented players across this defense.
Wirtz to the air. Downfield, incomplete, intended for Colby Ransom, who had a touchdown last week in a win against UMass.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons, he is a freak of nature, 6'2", 230 pounds. He's their strong side linebacker, but he's also their nickel back. And he is a guy that could play safety, but Venables in this defense feels comfortable where he's at. And showing you there, he can run with a tight end. He's physical enough to stand strong against the run. Once again, another valuable member to this defense that makes plays for them on the regular.
There is Brent Venables, one of the top D coordinators in the country. Wirtz on the option and taken down by Kendall Joseph, shy of the marker. It's 4th down.
That's great effort there from Joseph to be able to chase down Wirtz, who's as fast as anybody on the football field right now. And he was just trying to squeeze through that crack. But the Clemson defense, once again, they are 0 of 5 on 3rd downs, and that's the 4th straight 3 and out. 5th punt is about to happen. Clemson Tigers defense, one of the top units in the country, as they are priming up and getting ready for ACC play. They will be ready.
Bowerly to punt, gets it off barely. Rogers, fair catch, and it's made inside the 25. Time for our Buick Drive recap.
Ball spotted in the 24-yard line.
Bryant with an excellent job there, getting into that read pass option, and then Lawrence standing tall in the pocket, finding Ross with the wiggle afterwards. Special play as this offense comes back out on the field, led by Kelly Bryant, who limped off of the field before Lawrence came in, and now with his opportunity to show what he can do.
Yeah, Bryant got banged up on that last drive. Lawrence finished it. Number 2 back in. ETN in the open field. And taken down in Eagles territory at the 40. A gain of 35. Clemson came into this game with 6 plays of 40 yards or more, tops in the nation.
You want to see his speed right here. He destroys the angles of defensive players there. You think he's going to be in one spot, and he's not. And just about the time you get there, he blows by you.
Bryant to Cornell Powell on the screen for a short gain. Now they rotate in so many guys, and it's one thing to do it against Furman or Georgia Southern. We saw this at Kyle Field in front of 104,000 last week.
You're right. Once again today, already 10 different players with a reception. They get everybody involved, and Jeff Scott and Dabo Swinney have said, we're going to play guys who earn the right to play, and they are not bashful about that.
Etienne up the middle, taken down at the 25, and Travis Etienne now with 100 yards rushing in the first half.
That's a good first half, and when you start to look at the landscape of college football, Dylan out of Boston College, another name that you'll be talking about, but Etienne is really making a name for himself and could be all conference at the end of the year.
Etienne into the clear and spins ahead to the 11-yard line, and he has now matched his career high with 113 yards rushing. Second career 100-yard game.
Yeah, he's very smooth in his cuts, Anish, and you know when he decides to make a move, he will.
Back to the ground, back to Etienne. Finds a little seam and gets to the 6-yard line, second down.
Travis Etienne picks up 5 yards.
Etienne from Louisiana, former high school state champion in the 100 and the 200 meters, and still holds the Louisiana record in the 200. And he gets a nice hand as he comes to the sideline for a Feaster with a chance to vulture a touchdown. Feaster powers inside the 5, still churning, and he is down to the 1-yard line. Clemson could still get a first down, so they might have a first and goal here.
Number 9 on the tackle, Logan Hunt.
And this has been the best offensive rhythm led by Bryant so far today. 2 of those drives ended in a fumble, one with an interception, one with a fumble.
Third and short, Feaster picks up a first down, and Clemson now with 4 chances to punch it in.
And the zone read inside of the 10-yard line is the bread and butter, as the Tigers call a timeout.
57 seconds to go in this opening half. Clemson with a 2-touchdown lead. Some sloppiness in the opening quarter when Clemson turned it over twice and missed a field goal. They've had no trouble moving the ball up and down against Georgia Southern, almost 400 yards of total offense, but now the missed field goal, the interception when you're close to the red zone, the fumble at midfield. Dabo Swinney felt they made too many mental mistakes, too many errors, too many penalties. Still won at College Station. That's what they want to clean up. He felt the big explosive plays overshadowed the smaller stuff.
You're absolutely right. And early on in the year, you expect some of those early season jitters. But when you're a well-oiled machine like the Clemson Tigers are, it's frustrating. He also said they had their best week of practice this week. And I think that allows Dabo Swinney and the staff to continue to press in, to keep these players humble, despite all the success that they've had in recent years.
First and goal from the 1. Feaster in the backfield. Feaster leaping into the end zone for a Clemson touchdown.
Yeah, easy money. And very well played by this Clemson offensive line. Look at the push here. I mean, if you can get pushed into the end zone, all the running back has to do is run behind his pads and get to the offensive line, and that's exactly what happened. The leap probably wasn't even necessary, but the effort gets Feaster into the end zone.
PAT by Hugel is good. 21-0 Clemson. As we take a look at this week's AP Top 10 brought to you by Allstate. Tigers riding shotgun with Alabama in the driver's seat. Georgia goes first in double jeopardy. Ohio State with a chance to potentially move up. They're facing TCU in what really is a road game. That's at Jerry World in TCU's backyard. Kirk Herbstreit picking Vandy to upset Notre Dame on game day today.
Oh, my goodness. And we had Vandy a few weeks ago. They've certainly made some strides in terms of their program and one of the more talented groups that Derek Mason has had. But that is a gutsy call there on the part of Kirk Herbstreit.
For Clemson going forward, their challenge might be summoning that top-tier effort when you look at the rest of the schedule. And the ACC doesn't appear to be very good outside of Clemson. Maybe BC after a nice win Thursday. Maybe BC's the second-best team as the wind blows the ball off the tee. But a lot of the would-be challengers in the ACC have gotten off to some poor starts as Kelly Bryant walks off the field into the locker room early. Remember, he did have to come out of the game on Clemson's scoring drive prior to this last one. Now, that's the question for me with Clemson. When you're going to be such a heavy favorite the rest of the way, you could probably show up, play your B game, and still win comfortably. So how do you summon that A game every week? And that might be a challenge. They might be playing against themselves in a lot of ways.
Manish, it's a great question. You know how you do that? With strong leadership that won't let your players take a step back. And I'll be frank with you. I don't think that happens with the coaching staff. I think that's where your strong leaders in the locker room step up and remind these guys what the goal is at the end of the year. These players have had so much success, and you don't want to lull yourself into thinking that you can just show up and win. And so for Clemson, I think that starts in the locker room.
Wesley Fields coming off a big game last week, 141 yards, gets 3.
Wesley Fields, the ball carrier.
Clock continues to run. Georgia Southern does not take a timeout.
Trey Waller with the tackle.
And Fields swallowed right at the line of scrimmage, third down.
Tackle on the play by number 44.
Clemson on its last 3 possessions. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. After going interception, missed field goal, fumble on its first 3.
Yeah, that's more like the Tiger offense as this game will head into halftime.
A bit of a bumpy start for Clemson, but they flashed that championship pedigree in quarter number 2 with 21 unanswered, and the Tigers take a 21-0 lead into the locker room. This defense has still not given up a first-half touchdown. In fact, Clemson, through 3 games now, has surrendered only 3 first-half points.
Well, they've been suffocating today, and you can't say enough about what they've been able to do to really help this offense get into a good rhythm.
Down to Alex.
Coach, your offense found its rhythm in the second quarter. What changed?
We just finished. We played great the first 3 possessions. Just didn't finish, We go right down the field, and we got a freshman tight end in the game that makes a big mistake. We don't block the guy that we're throwing a screen, so he picks it. And then we go right back down the field again. Good drive, missed a field goal. We got a chop block. And then we go right back down the field and 26 fumbles the ball. So first 3 drives, we really good drives. We just didn't finish. And then we put it together and took care of the ball, got our assignments cleaned up, and put a few good drives together.
We saw Kelly Bryant just head to the locker room. What's his playing status for the second half?
I don't know. I guess he's okay. I think he said he was breathing really fast or something. So I don't know. They'll check him out and see what happens.
Coach, thank you.
Okay.
Anish?
Thanks, Alex. That's something we'll monitor. Kelly Bryant did take a big hit in that first half, but then did re-enter the game. Tigers 383 yards in the first half. Halftime after this.
To you by Mountain Dew. Do the do. This halftime report is brought to you by the all-new, totally remixed Volkswagen Jetta.
College football on ESPN brought to you by Edward Jones. Clemson a comfortable 21-0 halftime lead on Georgia Southern. Neither team scored in the first quarter. Clemson scored a touchdown on its last 3 possessions of the first half. And Ishroff alongside Ahmad Brooks. Little sloppiness early, then Clemson calmed down. Trevor Lawrence made some big plays as well.
Mental errors, mental mistakes on the part of the Tigers, but they came back and cleaned it up, and the quarterbacks both ended up leading their team to a scoring drive, but early on it looked like it wasn't going to be very good. Lawrence has had more control over this game thus far, but I also think some of the freshman mistakes that led to the turnover for Kelly Bryant, and then a fumble on one of those drives, a missed field goal. But this team came back out in their last 3 drives and really had command of the Eagles.
Kelly Bryant took a big hit in that first half. Came out of the game during a drive. Trevor Lawrence completed that drive through a touchdown, and then right before halftime, Kelly Bryant went to the locker room early. He has not come back out on the field. We do have some wind. Hurricane Florence expected to have its impact on the area later on today. Game time temperatures were in the low 80s, but there is a wind of about 15 miles per hour, and right now Clemson kicking with the wind. Eagles will take it out at the 25 as we check in with Alex Cordy.
Anish, thank you. Well, had a chance to catch up with Coach Lunsford. He said he was very pleased with his defense in the first half. He said they kept us in the game, but what happened? They played 50 plays. The offense only had 18 plays. He said if we cannot find our rhythm on offense, we're not going to be able to come back in this game. But very happy with his defense, especially in that first quarter.
Offensively, 18 plays, 30 total yards in the first half. And they've got a modified version of that Maryland eye to begin the third quarter. Out of the pistol, South Carolina native Shai Wertz hands it off to Wesley Fields, and he is devoured after a minimal pickup. Cleveland Farrell, the D-end, getting there. We told you about this Clemson D-line, Ahmad. It's not just the best D-line in college football. You can argue it's the best position unit in all of college football.
Yeah, you could. And I think when you start to look at the depth of this group, it's just scary. We saw Xavier Thomas early on, the talented freshman with a sack, and they're just littered with talent all in that room, and I love the way they push each other, most importantly.
Edge pressure, Wertz chased, sacked by Farrell. 4th sack of the season by Cleveland Farrell. He, along with Wilkins and Bryant, could have gone pro last year. They have returned, and they're going to get paid at some point in the spring of 2019.
Oh, big money. These guys will, they'll be the group that's taking vacations together after they leave here. And you look at Farrell, I think he's one of the most talented ones. And on third down, this kid really has a nose for the football. I mean, his sack last week versus A&M, where he blows by the left tackle, a sack fumble caused. And 2 consecutive plays, you see him stand up and stonewall the offensive line and then find the football. They're special indeed.
Todd McShay, 3 first-round grades and a 2nd-round grade on Austin Bryant. Deep throw downfield, incomplete, no flag. Mark Fields on the coverage, pass intended for O.B. Fortune. It'll bring up 4th down, and Georgia Southern now 0 for 4 passing.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mark Fields there go up for the football and get the interception. I mean, he had him blanketed downfield, and instead of knocking that ball down, go up with 2 and pick it off at 5'10", 180, certainly showing the leaping ability to high point the football, but it was excellent coverage on the back end of that play for the Tigers.
Bowerly's punt, a short one, goes out of bounds, and Clemson will begin in Georgia Southern territory. Trevor Lawrence will begin the third quarter as Clemson's quarterback. With that long mane, he made us wonder, who does he look like? Thor? That is a flattering comparison.
I like it.
A less flattering comparison is Hanson.
Oh, boy.
And then, of course, Jeff Spicoli. I don't even know if Trevor Lawrence is old enough to understand that reference.
Probably not.
Fast times at Ridgemont High.
And he's
I'm here and you're here.
And he's had
time.
An outstanding first half, only one incompletion. Really commanded this offense when he's been out on the field.
That's his time now. Hands it off to Lynn J. Davis, fellow freshman. And Davis, who had 89 yards in the season opener against Furman. Lynn J. Dixon, picks up a gain of 11.
Great second effort on the back end of that run. Punishing, getting those shoulder pads square and driving those legs.
Now they feel that he is the Travis Etienne of this year. What Etienne was last year. Dixon again to the 31-yard line, a gain of 4.
Valuable reps today for so many of these freshmen as Clemson continues to stockpile talent and add to their depth. So many players contributing from this incoming freshman class.
Lawrence fakes the toss, zings it over the middle to the tight end, Cannon Smith. Clemson has completed a pass to 11 different players. There's more than 12 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And that was just a great play fake there from Lawrence, and great anticipation from Cannon Smith to open up the middle of the field and to find that crease right down the seam.
Dixon remains in at running back. Rogers in motion. And this is Rogers to the 10. Amari Rogers, the son of former Tennessee quarterback T. Martin. T's a quarterback's coach at USC, and Amari, a native Tennessean, I think that's how you say that, from the Knoxville area, actually decommitted from USC to play with Clemson, wanted to be closer to home, and his fellow wide receiver T. Higgins, also from Tennessee, named for T. Martin. Dixon muscles inside the 5. Third down.
You see a glimpse of the acceleration and the movement. Seems able to cut through that hole with precision and efficiency. And now you're inside of your red zone. Third down. With T. Higgins in the ballgame, one thing we have not seen today is a one-on-one opportunity for him to high point the football. And they've been rolling the safety over the top to Higgins. Let's see if they take a chance.
Rogers in motion. Lawrence looking for Higgins. Incomplete, broken up by Vildor, who had an interception in the first quarter. Fourth down.
Now that's big boy coverage. You know, when you're taking on one of the top wide receivers in the ACC, one of the best in the country, with the length that he has over him, 5'11", 180, as they appear to be keeping their offense out on the field. But I tell you what, that's great coverage there for Kendall.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 65, 15-yard penalty, fourth down.
That's Matt Bockhorst, one of the backup guards, and that's part of the cleanup that Dabo Swinney wants to see, the mental errors.
And it's just uncalled for. I mean, the play's over. You've got to stop right there. And listen, I love offensive linemen that like to finish. And he's now arguing with the coach. The best thing this young man can do is just keep his mouth shut. Walk over to the sideline. You've made a mistake. You've set your offense back. It's okay. But that's not a penalty that is considered aggressive. So that's something that you've got to clean up.
37-yarder for Hugel, who missed from 39. And this one splits the uprights. Clemson makes it 24-0. Chance for 6 taken away by a penalty, but the Tigers do tack on a field goal. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. We're in Death Valley, home of the Clemson Tigers, and we take a look at today's mayhem moment brought to you by Allstate. They have great veteran talent on this Clemson team. How about the young guns today?
They are talented. There you see Justin Ross taking the pass from the freshman quarterback, Hunter Lawrence. And then blazing off of the edge, not with a lot of technique there, but Xavier Thomas. Fantastic. Your mayhem moment coming from the young pups.
Ross, the #1 player out of Alabama. Thomas, a 5-star defensive end recruit. who's really a third stringer given the quality and the depth of this D-line. We talk so much about Bryant and Farrell, Watkins, or rather Wilkins and Lawrence. Boy, the 2 deep and the 3 deep, it's not just those 4.
Scary bunch.
Georgia Southern will bring it out to the 25-yard line. The Eagles today do not have a play of more than 6 yards in their 2 wins against South Carolina State and UMass. They were averaging 6 yards per rush. Only 28 rushing yards today, nothing through the air, and they've got big C.J. Wright in the backfield. 94, a defensive lineman. He gets the call, and he's been their best option today offensively.
Number 94.
He took Denzel Johnson, the safety, there for a ride, and I don't blame him. You can't tackle this big boy up top. Just watch him here, rumbling. That is outstanding.
We're at that juncture in the game where there may not be a whole lot of mystery as to the outcome. Boy, I hope Big Boy 94 gets a shot at the goal line.
Agreed, Anish.
Wesley Fields going to be close to a first down. I think he's got it. He does. And that is just the 2nd first down of the day for Georgia Southern.
Well, when you can get started on first down, it really does set up the 2nd and 3rd downs, especially in this offense that is methodical in the way they like to milk the clock, chip away at the sticks, come up with the 3rd and short. And a lot of offenses say that, but in order for this offense to thrive, they actually have to do that. Because of their lack of experience in passing the football, they don't do it a lot. And once again today, that's where they've really struggled the most, is being able to find themselves in 3rd and short situations.
First charge
and a timeout by the Eagles.
Georgia Southern.
We'll step aside as well. 1st and 10, Georgia Southern. 9:09 to go in the 3rd quarter.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Nutro Wholesome Essentials Pet Foods. Nutro, feed the clean. And in part by the new DQ $4 Burger and Blizzard deal at participating locations.
We got to tour the Clemson facilities yesterday, go down the slide, run down the hill, and I'm glad they used that take. Because the first slide down, you see what happened was.
Anish, just before you went down it, we watched several players go. It was like, shoo, shoo. Yours was, shh, 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 shh.
He had to use his feet to get down the slide. It was horrible.
I got stuck the first time. I don't know what happened. J.D. Davis on the stop. No gain. 2nd down.
On the tackle, Jalen Williams and J.D. Davis.
Incredible facilities. They've got a bowling alley.
Putt-putt. It's unreal.
Basketball courts. The players' lounge is immaculate. Great little food court. Dabo Sweeney's office feels like you're in a palace.
Yeah, pretty much. And those are just some of the reasons why you're able to see this program led by that man continue to rise, if you will, in the ranks of college football.
Wirtz will keep it on 2nd down. No gain. Were you nervous running down the hill that they had at the practice facility?
See, the question is how high do you get? You know, I didn't want to use my Jordan jump man on him. You know, I'm 5'8". I'm not a big, tall guy, but I didn't want to show off my hops too much. You get too high, coming down that hill, it's dangerous. You see the big offensive line prior to the game doing it. Hey, that requires skill. And
that's why you did it, and clearly I did not.
Big 3rd down here for the Eagles, and once again, this defensive line licking their chops, and you don't need to bring a lot of pressure if you're Venables when you have the top defensive line in the country.
Showing blitz. Instead of three-man rush, nearly intercepted by Fields. He read it from the get-go and would have had a pick six.
Yeah, great anticipation. He's using a cover two look on the outside edge as he's walking around shrugging those shoulders with some swag, and certainly great anticipation. Gets a good jump on the ball, and once again, this Tiger defense able to hold the Eagles to a failed third down conversion. They're 0 of 7 on third down today. This defense has played lights out.
40 yards on 26 plays for Georgia Southern. This one takes an Eagles bounce, and it'll be downed at the 21-yard line. Well, this was take one. That is real time, folks. I got nothing. 24-0 Clemson. We take a look at today's exciting college football action with DirecTV. More for your college football thing. A lot of big games later today. Wisconsin gets a visit from BYU, Alabama to the Grove, Ohio State, TCU, a big one. And a lot of people think that Washington-Utah game is a potential upset special tonight. Trevor Lawrence back in there at quarterback for Clemson. And right now the concern for the Tigers is the health of Kelly Bryant. Bryant in the first half, if you're just joining us, took a hit during a drive. Came out for that drive. Now, he did re-enter that game, but went to the locker room before the half ended, went early before the rest of his teammates, and he has not been back on the Clemson sideline in the second half.
Yeah, and per Dabo Sweeney in the interview with Alex said that he was having some issues breathing, and the way he came down on that football was awkwardly, and sometimes that football will get caught in between those rib cages and the stomach knock the wind out of you. Let's just hope he's okay. The best part about it is this depth that they have at the quarterback position, where Hunter Lawrence is a special young man, and now he's conducting this offense.
Third down for Lawrence. Finds Ross again, wide open middle of the field. And Justin Ross, who had a SportsCenter top 10 worthy touchdown earlier, picks up 29.
I can't say it enough about the injuries and the missing their linebackers in the middle. A lot of those plays right up the seam are plays that their veteran players would be able to make.
False start, offense number 73, 5-yard penalty. First
right
down.
tackle Tremaine Ankrum, who got a lot of praise from the coaches and especially head coach Dabo Sweeney this week. You got an All-American on the left side in Mitch Hyatt, one of the best in the country, but Ankrum has really solidified that right side. Jumps early here.
And that happens sometimes when you get in the rhythm and the up tempo. You get eager, and you've just got to be able to watch that football.
Feaster. Clemson on its first 3 possessions went interception, missed field goal, fumble. They've scored on every possession since.
4 straight possessions and appear to be in rhythm right now as they continue to drive the ball downfield.
Feaster out of the backfield. Bounces off Hyatt. And stiff arms his way across the 35 to the 31. Nice assist by the All-American left tackle.
Yeah, and Houdini as an injured player down on the field for the Eagles.
First down Tigers at the 32.
Brinson able to get back up. Adam Choice now in at running back. He fumbled earlier in this game, fifth-year senior. Choice up the middle. Barges inside the 30.
And up to Jamie Feaster.
How do you expect this Clemson quarterback situation to play out, considering if Kelly Bryant is healthy? As Choi stumbles, he has not had a good day.
It's a tough question, and it's one that the fan base will be asking. I think Dabo Swinney summed it up best yesterday when he said he's never been in this position. He's never also opened up the quarterback room where you can play multiple players. And you look back at these early reps that Lawrence was able to get against Furman, against A&M, and now against Georgia Southern. This is the ideal situation if Brian is down, that you're able to play this young freshman, and he's been able to get some experience.
Lawrence under pressure. Incomplete, 4th down as we check in with Alex.
Anish, Ahmad, we've been trying to get updates from Clemson on Kelly Bryant. We did hear a notification from the trainers. They said we will decline to comment on the quarterback.
So Clemson being tight-lipped on Bryant. This is what happened in the first half. Takes a hit here. Came out of the game. Lawrence finished that drive. Bryant re-entered the game and then left for the locker room before the first half ended. Brinson is down again for Georgia Southern. And boy, for the Eagles and their head coach, Chad Lunsford, losing a lot of bodies. They do have a bye week that follows, but then it's league play. We step aside. 4th down, Clemson. 4th down for Clemson. Field goal team on. Trevor Lawrence. It looks like he's going to be the guy for most of this game. We may see Chase Bryce, the 3rd stringer, at some point. But on the outside, people can see the Lawrence-Bryant dynamic perhaps as a controversy. We talked to everybody here. They said zero drama. These two are friends. They root for each other. They get along. They help each other.
And that's just a great testament to Bryant being willing to share his experience with the young guy.
47-yarder by Hugel is no good. He's 1 for 3 today. And we get a studio update with Chris Cotter.
Time for DirecTV. More for your college football thing. Iowa State just refuses to go away. Hakeem Butler already had a great touchdown catch in the first half, adds one in the second. Oklahoma still on top by 13, but the Cyclones hanging in there on ABC.
All right, Chris, thank you. Matt Campbell, what a job he's done since taking over in Ames. You saw signs of it last year. They continue to build. Shy Wertz, option keeper. Now the pitch. Monteo Garrett. A gain of 4. Garrett, career high 90 yards rushing last week. Senior from Talladega, Alabama. Last year was the first time he played football since his senior year of high school. Redshirted in his first season with Georgia Southern, then was academically ineligible for 2 years. All right, big 94 into the backfield to C.J. Wright.
Rumble, young man rumble.
He gets the call, why not? And C.J. Wright, the colossus of a man, takes down a few orange jerseys as he gets close to a first down.
I'm digging it. You know, and what can you? And he's protected the football. Oftentimes, when you give a big guy the ball, you know, and that's a tough day there for Trey Lamar. But you know, he tries to stand him up, and he's along for the ride at that point as C.J. Wright carries him down in there. You know, 3rd and inches. You'd like to see perhaps a quarterback sneak here.
A toss to Garrett. And able to move the chains. First down.
That'll work too. And that's the first 3rd down conversion for the Eagles all game long. And it was all via the ground. That's a good sign for them moving forward.
Georgia Southern has yet to enter Clemson territory today. You know, you see that big old lineman in the backfield. Remember who played at Clemson a long time ago? Refrigerator Perry.
Oh, yeah, that's a blast from the past.
Shy Wertz for a short gain, or rather Monteo Garrett.
Number 15.
Monday Night Football this week. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks in Chicago to take on Khalil Mack and the Bears. 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. Khalil Mack and the Bears. Got to get used to saying that.
I'm still trying to figure out that trade, and I love our former colleague, Mr. Gruden, but that just seemed asinine when I saw that come across the bottom line to think that you trade away your best player on your football team.
One of the best defensive players in the NFL. On second down, Wirtz on the option. Fields slowed up, and he will lose a yard. Isaiah Simmons, number 11 in orange. The coaches told us when he finally figures out the mental aspect of football, he's a star waiting to happen.
Well, and what I like right now, they've given him a challenge inside with the nickel back position. That is the most difficult job in football, especially when you're covering a slot, because they've got space to be able to work, and the route tree really opens up for them. And Simmons has done a good job, and he's still learning that position. As he's in man-to-man coverage once again, it looks like 0 across the board for the Clemson Tigers.
On third down, 5-man rush. Wirtz completes his first pass. It's O.B. Fortune, junior from Georgia, youngest of 9 siblings, and a first down for the Eagles.
Yeah, Kayvon Wallace got caught with his eyes in the backfield. You see him there. He's looking at the quarterback rather than reacting to what was in front of him. He had man-to-man coverage, and even from that high position, could have driven a little bit harder. The best part about that play is that he made the tackle, or it would have popped for a big play, but good completion there from Shai Wirtz, and perhaps his best throw of the day.
Eagles nesting in Tiger territory for the first time today. C.J. Wright, 94 in the backfield, rumbling. I tell you what, Ahmad, he's now their leading rusher.
I can't get enough of this, all right? Can they just leave him in the ball game right now?
Just let him eat.
I mean, but how about the move there? You know, I mean, not only is he going north and south, the young man is moving laterally with the wiggle. C.J. Wright. Oh, my goodness. Keep it up, big fella. Where's my popcorn?
And listen to the sounds of Tiger Bay.
As we begin the fourth quarter, Georgia Southern has found a secret weapon in the backfield, and the 6', 290-pound freshman, C.J. Wright. He's averaging almost 6 yards per carry. The rest of the team, 1.7. On second and short, yeah, why not? And that time the ball comes out, picked up by Clemson. Niles Pinckney came up with it, and they went to the big fella maybe one too many times.
We were so complimentary on his ability to hold on to the football, but this was intentional. You watch here the rake, still only carrying it with that one hand. And 44, Niles Pinckney with the forced fumble and the fumble recovery. An excellent job there of knowing that the big fella has not been covering up the football with 2 hands, and you know, he's tired, you know. He's had a long day today for a big fella. Despite that, has still provided this team with a spark and gotten them off to a good start on first down.
First turnover of the game for Georgia Southern. Can't fault him. Trevor Lawrence, plenty of time. Looking for T. Higgins. Incomplete, covered by Vildor. No flag. I'll tell you what, Kendall Vildor's had a nice game today.
He is not scared. And, you know, and he's taken on perhaps one of the deepest wide receiver cores for sure in the ACC, and one if not in the country. And here, just great position. Obviously, Higgins is over the top there. And they're calling for the pass interference call here. I think it was good to let him play through the call. There was contact on both sides.
This pass is tipped into the air and intercepted. Rashad Byrd, who did not play in the first half due to a targeting suspension from last week, gets it right back for Georgia Southern.
Third takeaway of the day, second interception. And at 6'6", You see, he just did a nice job of hiding in behind as he was coming on the rush, and I'm not sure if Trevor Lawrence even saw him until he was nearly in the backfield. And that's a fine play. That's one of those forever highlight reels as he gets the turnover chain. I love that trend in college football. I know Miami has certainly made it famous, and it's really hard to compete there, but I like the idea of rewarding a defensive player after a takeaway.
What about what Florida State has shown, the turnover backpack?
I'm digging it. Mix it up.
I don't know. I don't know about the backpack. That's a backwards pass. Fortune, he'll throw it downfield, looking for Kennedy. And Georgia Southern connects on a big play. 40 yards downfield, a little trickeration.
The one thing that Brent Venables was most concerned about with this offense was their trickery, their trick plays. They lull you to sleep with the same old offense and probably only have a handful of plays, and then they come with the screen pass that goes over the top, and fine job of execution. Safety nearly gets there, Tanner Muse, but the Eagles now inside the 10.
Wirtz will keep. Touchdown, Georgia Southern on the board here in the fourth quarter.
Number 4, Shy Wirtz on the quarterback.
And that's got to feel good for Shy Wirtz from Newberry, South Carolina. He grew up coming to Clemson games offered by the Tigers. They did not see him as a quarterback. Went to Georgia Southern and Statesboro to play QB.
Yeah, the defensive end there loses contain, but it started with the interception there from the defense. Rashad Byrd picking off a ball, and the Eagles offense finally capitalizing and getting points off of a turnover.
The extra point is good, and the score is Clemson 24, Georgia Southern.
As you said, Ahmad, it all started with Rashad Byrd. Tipped ball right into his hands. And then Shy Wirtz, the South Carolina native, coming home. And college football presented by Edward Jones here on ESPN. 24-7, Clemson on top of Georgia Southern. Clemson has turned it over 3 times today. They've missed a couple of field goals, and probably the biggest headline to come out of this game, what's the status of Kelly Bryant?
Yeah.
Took a hit in the first half, went to the locker room before halftime. We have not seen him on the sideline in the second half. No update on his health from the Tigers as we check in with Chris.
Okay, and just give you an update on what's happening on ABC. It's Oklahoma and Iowa State. David Montgomery, nice patience there, getting over from 1 yard out. Just a 7-point game right now. Oklahoma on top, so a good one there. How about these two ugly games? Troy beating Nebraska in Lincoln, and then over on ESPN, Florida State had more penalty yards than actual yards in the first half. They're losing at Syracuse 6-0.
Good news for Clemson. Kelly Bryant has returned to the field for the Tigers. As that play blown up in the backfield. Travis Etienne for a loss. There's Kelly Bryant. Trevor Lawrence in the game at quarterback. Lawrence today 12 of 18, 194 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Lawrence steps up, takes a big hit. 3rd down and long, and a game that a few moments ago looked comfortably in hand for Clemson. And the tenor started to change a little bit.
And it starts with that defensive line there up front for the Eagles, applying pressure, making plays.
Lawrence to the air, zings one over the middle, incomplete. Intended for a Renfro, and Clemson will have to punt it away. Still plenty of time to go in this ball game.
Yeah, the young fella just has to calm down at this point. And, you know, he's He's a very even-keel young man. That's what you hear when you talk to the coaching staff. He's got a great demeanor for the position, never gets rattled. And now he's got an opportunity to really see what he's made of. If I'm Dabo Swinney and this staff, I leave Kelly Bryant on the sideline, and I let this young man work through some adversity that he's having here on the field.
Bryant's experience was part of the reason he finished the game against Texas A&M. Kennedy makes a fair catch at the 42-yard line. Good starting field position for Georgia Southern as they look to get closer, down 17.
ESPN College Football is presented by Edward Jones, because understanding what's important to you matters, and in part by the new DQ $4 Burger and Blizzard deal at participating locations.
One of the great relics in college football, Howard's Rock. All the players touch it before running down the hill. And for Clemson, they'll face another team that likes to run down the hill next week in Georgia Tech. A road game, and it'll mark the third game in 4 weeks for Clemson against an option-oriented offense. Furman, Georgia Southern today, and then Georgia Tech next week.
And Dabo brought up a great point. He said this is one of the first times that Georgia Tech will be able to see how a team plays the option, because they've had it so much early on in the year.
Fields taken down at the 45 by Trey Lamar, the middle linebacker. You're right, Paul Johnson usually has to go off of the previous year's tape to figure out how Clemson's going to play the option. Well, now he's got that plus the Furman game and this Georgia Southern game.
I thought the Tigers have done a good job of defending it today, and Brent Venables, who was running quarterback of the option on Thursday, was really getting after the guys, making sure that they had proper eye discipline and the things necessary to stop it.
Words keeps. That's the wrinkle that Georgia Southern throws at you. It's not all triple option. You see a bit of that zone read.
And I think it's the right thing to do, and he's done a good job of dialing up plays today and coaching up his guys. Brent Venables, who I'm still shocked he's still here. Yeah, I mean, this guy's had coaching opportunity after coaching opportunity, and yet he still finds himself, running up and down these sidelines here in Death Valley.
Could be 4 down territory for the Eagles. Wirtz keeps it and moves the chains.
Very good decision there, and finding that crease and getting in it. And he's got the speed and the quickness and the agility and mobility to do it. And that young man's worn out. But I thought it was a good decision. And, after not being able to convert, they were 0 of 7 on third down, and now gotten to third down 3 different times in a row and been able to convert. And the difference has been them being able to chip away at the sticks, not find themselves in third and long situation, and they've been able to operate the option.
High snap. Wirtz tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Niles Pinckney got there first. Tonight on ABC, Ohio State, TCU. A pair of top 15 teams at Jerry World. 8 p.m. Eastern is when our coverage starts. Dwayne Haskins has been lights out as the Buckeyes quarterback. 9 touchdowns, 1 pick, completing 79% of his passes through 2 games. But a big test today against the Horned Frogs. Another high snap. Wirtz again will keep. And taken down by Joseph. It brings up a 3rd down. And I'd imagine, Ahmad, this has to be 4 down territory with the score being what it is. So 2 runs are not out of the equation.
They're not. And I think as they start to bring in some muscle here, you wouldn't be surprised to see them go back into their read option, zone read package, and try to pick up the yardage here. 7 yards is certainly attainable with this offense on the ground.
Clemson brings the pressure. Wirtz to the air. He's got Fortune. And Obi Fortune reaches for the first down at the 35. And Georgia Southern, after going 0 for 7 on third downs to begin the game, now 4 for their last 4.
Yeah, that was a nice play call also. And the O-line held up. They brought the pressure. Venables decided to heat up the pocket. Shy Ward stood tall and tough in the pocket and was able to complete the ball outside for a first down.
High snap again. Wesley Fields tripped up, picked up 3.
Oh, he knew it. You know, he gets past that. He lifts his legs and gets through there. He might still be running. And that might have been the second score for the Eagles.
Dabo Swinney said earlier this week that he's got a ton of respect for the Georgia Southern program. Compared them a lot to App State, a team that was dominant at the FCS level and then moved up and was competitive right away at the FBS level.
That's high praise.
Movement on the line.
False start, offense, number 66, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Jake Edwards. Remember, in 2013, Georgia Southern, in their final season in the FCS, beat Florida at the Swamp. That was the famous game where the two Gators were blocking each other. 2011, they lost to Bama, but ran for 300 yards. Took Georgia to overtime in 2015. Won the Sun Belt in 2014, their first year as an FBS program. Fields devoured in the backfield, 3rd and long. Wilkins and Farrell were there. And what Georgia Southern has gotten back to under Chad Lunsford, option football, running the ball. They got away with that when Tyson Summers was the coach.
Yeah, just too much muscle and movement inside. And you see Wilkins there with the swim move. And just how agile these big fellows are, and getting pumped up with his buddy.
Morphin time.
That was good.
Tigers bring the blitz. Wirtz deleted by Austin Bryant.
Austin Bryant.
Second time today Bryant has gotten a sack going unblocked, and that is the Tigers' 4th sack of this ball game. Venables with a timely call, and you'll see him here at the top of your screen. Just an outstanding job. He does a good job of getting off of the ball. He knew he had a shot, and by time Shy Wirtz had recognized it, it was too late.
Georgia Southern calls a timeout. 4th and 22. 6:38 to go in regulation. To look at the All-State AFCA Good Works team, which recognizes athletes who go all hands in with their charitable work, and part of the Good Works team, Clemson right guard Sean Pollard. Log on to ESPN.com and search All-State to see the full roster. 4th and 22, Georgia Southern is going to go for it. Why not? Down 17 on the road, 6.5 to go here in regulation.
They've got the wind at their back.
Here comes the pressure. And Cleveland Farrell gets the sack, and Clemson takes over.
And that's the 5th sack of the ball game. And Farrell, who is a tough out, they're all coming off of that edge. And he's ferocious. This time here, just beating the tight end, manhandled him at the point of attack. And Shy Wirtz was trying to squirt out of the backside of that pocket, but these guys are big, they're athletic. You see him change direction there like a cat and still managed to come up with the sack, and the 5th for this Tigers defense.
Trevor Lawrence has played the entire second half. Hands it off to Travis Etienne, who sprints to the 41. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. The story of James Conner's incredible journey. Remember, Conner started Pitt, battled cancer to his breakout performance last week with the Steelers, plus Randy Moss ranks the best catches from college football. Etienne off to the races. And he punctuates a career day with his second touchdown of the afternoon.
And there's this breakaway speed that we've heard about. Etienne going to the boundary. This is hard. There's not a lot of space over here. Picks up a great block on the outside edge. And I said it earlier, he's so fast that if you don't take the appropriate angle on defense, he will blow right by you. He's the type of player that then can also set up the cutback because now you're overplaying his speed. And you saw it there. Top end speed like a sports car as Etienne finds the end zone.
Former high school track star in Louisiana having a career afternoon. A career best 162 yards. He's needed only 16 carries. He's scored twice. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the school's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate.
Number 5, James Green. Number 12, Wesley Sigley the third. Water to kick off.
Kennedy taken down right at the 15-yard line. And this Clemson defensive line, morphin' time.
Yeah, and call them people eaters. You know, the thing that strikes me the most is you look at their physical size. That's one thing. But you watch the way that they compete together and how quick and fast these guys are. I'm telling you, you'd be hard-pressed to find a defensive line in the last 20 years that had this much talent on it, and not to mention some of the younger players that are developing that will make their mark here very shortly.
Just for the starters, Bryant 6'6", Wilkins 6'4", Lawrence 6'4", Farrell 6'4".
Jeez.
You're staring at the Himalayas.
And they can move. And I made the comment yesterday at practice when I saw Dexter Lawrence's calf muscles. But this dude, you know, he's got the big boy belly. That's understandable. But the lower half of his body, he looks like a linebacker. And he moves like one, certainly, when he's working the middle of the field. That guy's got first round written all over him.
It was quite the scene at practice on Thursday.
Offense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You were enamored with his calves. I mean, this was Johnny Drama, Billy Zane stuff.
well, here's the deal. I played at the University of Texas with a guy named Leonard Davis, who was number 2 overall, who was built very similarly. You know, at 300 and the guy is 350 pounds. You know, and it's just one of those things. Anytime you see a big boy like that, man, and that moves that well, it's going to be hard on draft day for teams not to have him high on their draft board.
Second and long. Fields for a gain of 4. Georgia Southern looking to get back to where it was just a few years ago, 2014, 2015 under Willie Fritz. Very successful seasons. The Tyson Summers era, let's be honest, it was a disaster. And what Chad Lunsford told us was the fans in Statesboro know what the identity of this program is.
Yeah.
Through their years in the FCS when they won 6 championships, it was the option. And he said nobody amongst the fans will ever get on you as a coach for running the ball too much. They'll throw it here because they have to, and it's 4th down. And going back to that style, the second half of last year, they started being more competitive. Started 0-6, won a couple of games, matched their win total from a year ago in the first 2 weeks this season. Now they're picked to finish 4th in the Eastern Division of the Sun Belt. They might be able to surprise some people. In a game like this, the coaches were telling us, it gives you an idea of how you measure up against the best. It's the best form of scouting yourself.
Yeah, great point. And I also think with the way that Shai works, his potential and his ceiling, I think if he gets going, I think that 4th ranking is going to be a little bit low for this team.
We have a penalty on the punt.
Tigers will begin at the 36-yard line. Make it 37.
Kick holding, receiving team number 18. Ball be placed 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Clemson will take over. We will see the 3rd-string quarterback, Chase Bryce, when we come back. On first down, the handoff is to Adam Choice. Chase Bryce, the quarterback now for Clemson, the 3rd stringer. Kelly Bryant got hurt in the first half, re-entered the game in the first half, then went to the locker room early, did not appear on the Clemson sideline until the 4th quarter. So Trevor Lawrence has played most of this game, but with the score 31-7, we get a look at Bryce. And throws this one over the middle. That is complete. Will Sweeney. And he gets a nice ovation. That's Dabo Sweeney's son.
Oh, that's cool.
What Dabo Sweeney told us about Chase Bryce, he said, listen, all you guys think we have 2 quarterbacks. I like to believe we have 3. And he said he feels if Chase Bryce was his quarterback, he could win the ACC.
Wow.
Adam Choice to the outside. Into Eagles territory. Ahmad, you look at the league this year. We forgot to mention Virginia Tech in the first half. I still want to see more out of the Hokies. They beat Florida State, yeah, and look good doing so. But Florida State right now is getting shut out at Syracuse. And the Seminoles almost lost to Samford. So it's still wait and see for me with Virginia Tech. Pitt beating Georgia Tech right now. Louisville without Lamar Jackson as Dixon takes this handoff. The Noles clearly are down. I think BC has a chance to maybe be that 2nd best team. Miami losing to LSU week 1. How did they bounce back? I don't see another team I'm confident in this league right now besides Clemson.
As
Justin Birdsong is
down on the field. Anish, you bring up some quality points, and Clemson no doubt is the class of the ACC, and and that's where you might start to see some teams emerge. Boston College, how serious is Syracuse with Eric Dungy at quarterback? I know he left the game earlier today. I don't know if he came back into the ball game, but I think, and this is one of the reasons why I have the ACC, in my opinion, as the 3rd best conference, and I think really competing very hard with the SEC in terms of depth. Here's why.
I don't see the depth outside of Clemson.
Well,
maybe BC.
When you don't have a clear-cut winner outside of Clemson, Clemson is head and shoulders above the rest. I think the middle of the conference and the lower half of the conference, in my opinion, is one of the strongest. And so that's where the ACC for me has really
this year. I mean, you look at what's happened. Virginia lost to Indiana. North Carolina's in a tailspin right now.
And Duke's 2-0. I mean, you talk about teams like Duke. I'm just saying, if it were me, and and these are my rankings, I think the ACC has done enough, in my opinion, to be able to be in that conversation.
Chance to send a team to the college football playoff, according to our playoff predictor, SEC. 95%, almost a 40% chance to send 2 teams. And now listen, Clemson, there's a reason there's only a 1% chance to send multiple teams. I think Clemson. But
this is a reflection of the top part of the conference. I mean, let's face it. Obviously,
but look at what's
Alabama
happened
and Georgia.
In non-conference earlier in the season. I mean, the SEC has looked good in non-conference play.
So Alabama and Georgia, then who?
LSU has the win against Miami.
LSU. You had LSU last week, and
we'll see what happens with Auburn today.
What did you think of LSU last week?
I didn't play great against Southeastern Louisiana, but beat Miami and looked pretty good doing it week 1. Bryce over the middle, and that is caught. It's Ross inside the 10. Ross has had a nice game. 3 catches, including a touchdown. Over 100 yards receiving for the freshman. Choice. Is he in? He is.
And that's the second time he picked up some great yardage behind the freshman left tackle, Jackson Carman, who came in at 365, dropped 20 pounds, and you'll see him number 79 on this side. Watch him. Picks up the big block. Sealing off the end there. And doing the rest of the work, putting that hand down, getting in the end zone. And Adam Choice with the touchdown, and Clemson scoring more points.
PAT by Hugel Good. Alabama, number 1 team in the country, will take on Ole Miss in Oxford tonight. 7 Eastern. You can watch it on ESPN or the app. Bama blew out the Rebels 66-3 last year. And, they've got 2 quarterbacks, but Tua is the guy in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, that was a tough decision to make, but I think it was the right one for Nick Saban. After you replace Jalen Hurts in the national title game, and Tua comes in like a veteran player, led them back, got them back in the ball game versus Georgia, and I think it's his team to lose at this point. And then you also see, Alex brought up the point earlier this week, Georgia also running a 2-quarterback system, playing 2 quarterbacks. You look at Clemson, the second best team in the country for me, playing 2 quarterbacks. And what it does is it really does show off your depth and your ability to recruit. And, that's a great option there to have Jalen Hurts as your backup quarterback.
These are first world problems. They're not playing 2
right.
because they don't have 1. They're playing
right.
2 because they have
got
2. Sports Center tonight on ESPN after Washington and Utah with Stan and Neil. Herbie will break down Ohio State, TCU, and all the early season playoff implications stemming from that result, plus the best sights and sounds from the college gridiron, and reactions from Stephen A. and Teddy Atlas following Canelo and Triple G.
Pumping them out, the push-ups. I'd like to see the form a little bit better, though. Get a little higher off the ground there, but not bad.
I mean, it's hot.
Been doing a lot of those.
And true. You're in a mascot suit. Tough critic here. Wow.
It's my job.
Straight ahead, Shy Wirtz. This is a young man who's coming home, and he's been through a lot. The quarterback for Georgia Southern in the offseason. A grease fire burned down his family's home. They lost everything, and Georgia Southern has really supported the Wirtz family by donating money through approved NCAA channels to help that family get back on their feet. And, you're sort of reminded of what a lot of families are going to go through in the Carolinas in the aftermath of Florence. We have had good weather today. No real signs of rain. We wondered what kind of condition this game would be played in.
It's been gorgeous out.
Now the hurricane, now a tropical storm making landfall. But part of the reason that this game is being played in the time slot it was moved up to, again, avoid any issue with potential weather, which is expected later on today. Final minutes of regulation. Matt LaRoche into the game for Georgia Southern. Option. There is LaRoche. They call him Speedy from Venice, Florida. Clemson about to go to 3-0 for a 4th consecutive season, and more option madness for the Tigers next week when they visit Atlanta and Georgia Tech.
Well, they held the Eagles to 80 rushing yards, as that'll be the final play of this game, but the defense certainly today was the standout.
80 rushing yards against an offense that averaged almost 330 coming into the game. Clemson puts the ribbon and wrapping paper on this one. 38-7, our final score. Coming up next, Goal Line on ESPNU. For Ahmad Brooks and Alex Cordry, I'm Anish Shroff. See ya.